About a couple of weeks ago, Vikram called me and said, uh, invited me to come and speak on the state and fate of television in this country. While I couldn't say no to him because having missed the first of his Lifetime Achievement Awards, you need to learn from your boss. There are many more to come. I owed one to him, and therefore I had to say yes. But I wondered myself as to, calling a TV person to speak about the state and fate of television in this country is like calling a goat for a conference where you're deciding the Bakra Eid date. So it's kind of funny that I'm called here. So to be fair to the subject, I said, let me not just, speak in English. Let me back it up with some mathematics and some data for the people to believe what I'm saying. But then I thought again to myself and I said, look, these are the people who've been making advertisers invest billions on the back of BARC data. So it's okay, we can throw any data at them and they'll believe it. Because Baba Adam Research Council has been giving us so much. So I'll try and be as data backed as possible. I did not want to reveal this slide, but in any case, now that it is revealed, let me ask you a simple question to the audience. How many of you go back to your childhood and say, how many of you had your parents buy a refrigerator before they buy a television? Just raise your hand. Oh, you got a hand? Yeah, it works. Excellent. How many of you, how many refrigerator first and TV later? So the front benches are obviously out of sync with the rest of the country. No, I am older than you, so you don't throw old at me. So the fact is that the backbenchers are in tune with the country, the front benches are out of sync as always. Because 62% of India owns a television and only 19% own a refrigerator. In fact, more people own an air conditioner than a refrigerator because most of India cooks for the meal they're eating. Unlike us, who cook more than what we can eat, and then they need a refrigerator to keep it in there. And how things have been moving. Television was 31%, 47%, by 2020 it's 62%. And I'll tell you in the next slide that it's still at 62%. So it hasn't moved further. While shampoos, I started my life by selling a shampoo, and that time it used to be about 2% or something like that. And then it went to 23, 56, and 95. So everything goes towards 95, including skin creams. But television stuck at 62. And television is the first durable that anybody buys in this country. Even before they buy a motorcycle, even before they buy an air conditioner, even before they buy if you go into a village home, you will see no furniture. There is one room in which about 6 or 7 people eat, sleep, cook, produce more kids, do everything else. And there is no furniture in that room. There is only one furniture hanging on the wall, which is a television. That is the first piece of furniture that comes into that household. And yet there is 62% people own homes only that have got a television. Why? Because the balance have not had the opportunity to have 6,000 rupees on the table at one go. Not that they don't aspire, but they haven't had, between the marriage of somebody, a shraddh for a parent, a Kumbh Mela, a prayer somewhere, they've lost all the money that they had and they haven't had 6,000. The moment they have about 4,000 rupees, they go to a dealer, they pay him that 4,000 rupees and promise to pay them 200 rupees a month for the remaining period and get a television home. And then they're not left with any money to pay subscriptions for pay TV. So therefore they move to free to air, and then some of them move to pay TV as and when they get enough money. This is the reality in the marketplace. How do we compare with the rest of the world? China 99%, US, UK, Malaysia, Singapore 90s, Indonesia, India, and Thailand, etc. Some of these countries like ourselves are in the same ballpark at 67, 62%. How has it grown in the last few years? 31, 39, 47, 55, 62, 62. And I'll get to why 62, 62 in the next slide. Because this is kind of stagnant. My favorite chart, no presentation is ever complete without it. I've been using it for the last 15, 20 years maybe. This is what every consulting firm will show you. This one's fortunately by Bain. McKinsey's got a similar chart. Everybody's got a similar chart, which shows you the income distribution of the country, how it will progress. So far, it has followed the curve. If I was sitting in 2005, this could have been conjecture. We are pretty much 5 years away from the final piece. We are here. So it better be correct. And what it clearly tells you is that the bottom of the pyramid, which has got most numbers, is shrinking, and the upstairs is growing. Loosely told, the guys at the top don't even know how many shirts they have or shoes they have. The guys at the bottom could buy their 51st shirt without knowing what colors they have of the 50 shirts they have, or buy their 21st pair of shoes without even knowing what are the 20 shoes that they have in their wardrobe. The guys below have a bunch of 3 or 4 shirts and 2 pairs of shoes, the third row, and they wait for one to go before they buy another. And the guys at the bottom either have a shoe or a shirt, not both. That's how they are. So, as members of a community where most of us are here, either selling advertising space to gullible advertisers, or distributors like ourselves who distribute television content or digital content, and also the incidental broadcasters who fill the space between ads with content. What should our aim be? What should we be selling? Who should we be directing the advertiser with the money in his pocket towards? Logically, the top of this chart, because what I learned in school, in business school 40 years ago maybe, a little more than that, was that the purpose of advertising is to address audiences who have needs and have also got money to pay for those, to fulfill those needs. Not just aspirations, but people who have the money. Now, unlikely that people here at the bottom or even here will have the money to pay for the goods that we advertise. Bulk of the advertising needs to be aimed at the top 2 layers who have both the aspiration and the money to pay for the goods that they. But what is our data selling? Our data is chasing numbers. Our data is chasing eyeballs. I heard a podcast this morning which explained it beautifully. He says, if the purpose of your business is to drive north, and then somebody else throws a purpose at you which says drive at 60 kilometers per hour, we say, okay, let's take one of these purposes at a time. Let's first start driving at 60 kilometers per hour because that's what everybody's driving at. Then we'll decide which direction we're going to drive. And then we realize that we've lost our way somewhere. So, we will revisit this premise. But the fact is that general income levels in the country are rising, so there is hope for the future. And What portion of income do people spend on television subscription? This is global data. India, it's 0.4%. Other countries similar to us are in 0.5, 0.6%. The developed world is sitting at 1%. So we have hope here too, that people will end up paying a little more for television going forward. Now, what happened to television in the last few years? The orange bars are DTH subscriber numbers. The blue line on top is Tata Play subscriber numbers. I can show you my numbers. So right from March 14 all the way up to March 19, 20, and I can go back. I could have gone back here also, and even then this line did not start growing here. This line started from nowhere and was growing continuously up to here. So up to 20, the industry was kind of growing and at a pretty good pace, and so were we. We actually continued to grow till 21. And then we faced a winter, a pretty long winter this time. Now, everybody had started telling us from here itself, hey, Netflix is coming. Hey, OTT is coming. And you guys, including my children, that you'll die. In fact, people questioned, are you in the right job? And I said, yes, I am, because there is a whole lot sitting there without televisions. Netflix globally launched somewhere here, 2007 or something like that. Netflix launched in India somewhere here. Yet, the industry was growing and continued to grow. And when I say Netflix, it is not just Netflix, it's brethren from, in fact, we said, yes, people are going to watch Netflix, but there'll be people who will be watching TV also. So let's be in both the markets, and that's when we decided to go for Binge, which is an aggregation of apps. And at that point in time, we said, by today, we should have reached about 10, 12 million as per the projections we made at that time. But nothing happened here with all the OTT players coming in, even here. Then what happened here? Any guesses? Data was always there. People are saying data are not wrong, but data was always there. Sorry? Free? That too. Yes. Exactly. So, in the same period, we've just tracked data, free IPL, and free content as such. It wasn't just free IPL, it was free content, which was always existing. I sat with Ashish the other day, and he said, "Ye to main kabhi se free de raha tha. Ye naya kya hai isme?" My Zee Cinema, Kumkum Bhagya, used to appear on ZEE5 for free 24 hours after release. So big deal. So what happened? In 2015, 16, and 17, we used to pay 2,500 rupees a month for our data packs, which used to finish around the 24th, 25th of the month, and we were forced to pay another 250 or 300 or 400 rupees to last the balance 5 days of the month or 6 days of the month. This is where the industry was growing at the rate of 6 million new subscribers a year. By this time, the data prices fell down from some 300 rupees a GB to 10 to 30 rupees a GB. A person needs about 2 GB a day to watch television on the phone, if he wants to. That means 20 rupees a day, that means 600 rupees a day, versus 300 rupees a day on the television. So some discerning customers who wanted freedom of movement and wanted to watch the same content on the go, who preferred convenience over the price and could afford the price, moved there. So the industry's numbers stopped from growing from 6 million a year to 2 million a year for 3 consecutive years. Then came the year 2021, when for 239 rupees or 240 rupees a month, which is 8 rupees a day, you could get 1.5 GB of data free on your phone as a part of your plan, which is 2 hours of TV watching. Which is 2 hours of TV watching. Not only did we stop acquiring new subscribers, we started losing more subscribers than we were acquiring. And the industry went down by 3 million subscribers a year. So there's a swing of 9 million new customers a year for these many years. So are we surprised that people are not? So it is not Netflix that is killing television. It is cheap data and recent content, availability of recent content. For example, Kapil Sharma, after he would be on Sony, would be on television. For the last two IPLs, one World Cup, and many ICCs and many BCCIs, cricket has been available for free. Yet our numbers have retained. I mean, they haven't gone to zero. There are discerning people who would want to sit down in front of the television and watch. So that's where we are. And it's not just data, it is a combination of data and recent content. It is also not about fixed broadband penetration, because the fixed broadband penetration in this country is like here compared to the rest of the world. And these numbers tie in because the real numbers of fixed broadband on which you can watch video is in the region of about under 30 million homes. It is not more than 30 million homes. If Ashish is saying so, it must be so. So it is an affordability problem in this country. So when we launched Binge about 5 years ago, we started toying with it. We said by 2025, we'll be about 10, 12 million customers, because if everybody's going to switch over to OTT, then that's where we are. But when we analyze the current situation of people who are watching OTT, this is where we end up. There are 895 million broadband and fixed wireline customers who have access to internet in this country, say 900 million. 550 million of these are watching videos online. Now my numbers could be off by about 10% here or there, but these are estimates from various sources, but they won't be as much off as Barkar. Of this, only 150 million are paying for what they're watching. They don't have the money, others don't have the money to watch, to pay for what they're watching. They don't have the money. They watch anything that comes to them for free. Of this 150 million also, about 100 plus million are watching this subscription videos because it's been given to them for free by their mobile service provider. If it wasn't given to them for free by the mobile service provider, they wouldn't have gone out and subscribed to it. So again, freeloaders. That is why only 9% of the country has the money to subscribe to fixed broadband on a recurring basis, pay 600, 700 rupees a month for it. There are only 40 million people who are paying for the OTT themselves out of their own pocket. That's the size of the market. Of this 40 million also, only 5 million are the people who are subscribing to more than 3 apps at a time or paying more than 250 rupees per month on subscription. Now, as advertisers or as channels or agencies which are guiding the advertisers to spend their well-earned money, where should we be guiding them? Here or there? Is the question I leave you with. Because this guy will watch your ad, he'll love it, but he won't have the money to, if he doesn't have the money to pay 300 rupees or 250 rupees to the OTT provider to watch the latest content, then he's unlikely to have money to pay for product that you're trying to advertise. So if you're advertising to entertain these fellows, be my guest. This is a complicated chart, but very simple if I just explain it to you. See, I picked up this data from, I didn't prepare this for this meeting. This is a part of our strategy document. This morning I just went and said, off the dreams that I had, give me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, so that I can build a story on that basis. So a lot of this data I'm also seeing after, some after a week, some after 2 weeks, and some after 5 months. So some places I may also not correlate with it so easily. There's one more slide to go, so don't worry. This basically takes the income pyramid or the households, 300 million households of the country, and breaks it down to how many shirts you own and how many shoes you own. So the guys at the top have unlimited number of shirts and shoes and they're buying more. The guys in between have limited number of shoes and shirts, but they're still buying more. The guys here have very limited number of shirts and they buy one when one wears out. And these guys have either a shoe or a shirt, not both. So this is how they are. Now, the guys at the top have stopped subscribing to pay TV, the 1 million up there, those households. They're only on OTT and they're buying the most expensive broadband, highest speed, सबसे best दे दो. The guys below are spending 800 to 1,000 rupees on their broadband. The guys under that, the 3.3, are spending about less than 800 rupees on their broadband. They're compromising there. The guys below don't have fixed broadband. Everybody, almost everybody, has mobile internet, right up to here. This is where there is no TV. This is where there is smart TV upstairs, but that doesn't mean that smart TV is connected to broadband, because we stopped selling standard definition boxes some 8 years ago. We only sold high definition boxes. Does that mean everybody who's got a high definition box is subscribing to high definition? No. 50% of the base is not subscribing to even one channel of high definition. And of the 50% who got a high definition box and are subscribing to high definition, most of them are subscribing to 1 or 2 channels. The full package is only lying at the top there, those pink guys. So that's the affordability of the country. That's where the television is. That's where the television market is. And yeah, I mean, other things are quite easy and simple. How much do they pay for pay TV? How much do they pay for OTT? How much do these segments pay for? These are our conjectures based on our, understanding on meeting with these customers. This is where we are. Is every connected TV person a customer of connected TV? I'm not sure. Second, another piece I saw in Sam's report, and I've been seeing numbers of 37,000 crores, 45,000 crores, 68,000 crores or whatever of digital advertising. While we know for a fact that video advertising on digital is a number that is less than half of that. If below the line stuff is being included on digital as digital advertising for the digital pie, then why should the posters that FMCG guys make, the dealer signboards that they make, the schemes that they give, discounts that they give to the dealers to push sales and convert customers or convert prospects to customers, why should they not be added to the ADEX is a question I want to leave you guys with. Because in reality, if I go to the last slide, next, this is a kind of a number that we put together for the industry. And I kept one circle blank and I will explain why. Pay TV goes to about 100 million homes. There are 500 million eyeballs roughly there. There is 32,000 crores of subscription we get from these homes. There is roughly 25,000 crores of advertising. Sam, this doesn't tie up with your number because the balance comes out of free to air. And I've understated this number. This number could be about 30,000 crores and 5,000 crores could be coming out of FTA. So that's how it totals up to 35,000 crores. So therefore, there is a realization of 114 crores per million eyeballs here. That's what we realize. That's what the content producer realizes out of these homes. Now we come to free to air. which is DD Direct. There's roughly 45 million homes there, 225 million eyeballs, about 4,000 to 5,000 crores of advertising here, roughly, of that order, 18 crores per million eyeballs. Does it make sense for a producer of content who's used physical sets to produce that content, not AI, to monetize it at 18 crores per million? Or first monetize the 114 crores per million, wait for a couple of years, and then go there? That's a question I think my content friends will need to ask themselves. Because every time we speak to them, they say, oh, we are missing this opportunity. There's a cost to going to this opportunity too early. Free apps. About 200 million people are watching freshly minted content of ours, which shows at 8 p.m. there and 8:30 p.m. it's on your app for free. There's about 5,000 crores advertising, including sports, that comes from there. That's a realization of 25 crores per million. And this is either or, because one pair of eyeballs that goes there is at the cost of this. If you're getting 25 crores per million eyeballs there, it's at the cost of 114 crores per million eyeballs. Straightforward. So, and that's what is causing people to move away from television. It is not that people are not fond of TV, or people have shitloads of money that they can go spend on a broadband connection at home and a Netflix and an Amazon Prime and Hotstar and a Z5 and a Sony Live and what have you. They don't have that money to subscribe to that. They're doing it because it's coming for free. And that's how TV is dying. So there is a movement this year that I'm seeing, which is, I'm told that Champions Trophy, IPL, and all other cricket will be behind the paywall this year, just as India-Australia has been, just as India-England has been. And we've seen substantial recovery of numbers every time a cricket match is played, and it's played behind a paywall in the last a couple of months. And we are hoping that IPL will be the test case for that. Champions Trophy and IPL will be the test case for that. We are actually preparing for the India-Pakistan match in the Champions Trophy to get those numbers back. The paid apps, which is again halal, is about 50 million, 5,000 crores of subscription money, 100 crores per million. So the paid guys, and by the way, has Netflix or Amazon put Suits or Grace and Frankie or what have you, Breaking Bad, or name some of those things on YouTube yet? No. There must be a reason, no? I'm sure they're wiser than us. Why don't they do that? They should also monetize it. Having recovered 100 crores per million eyeballs from India with those shows, they can also recover another 25 crores per million. Why don't they do that? But हमारा कुमकुम भाग्य 1 घंटे के बाद आ जाता है, वो क्रिकेट मैच लाइव आ जाता है, और न्यूज़ का तो क्या बात ही नहीं करेंगे हम. That's another genre. So that's where we are. And I've purposely not put YouTube in this, because the numbers that I see. People claim YouTube and Meta and Google are doing what? 30,000 crores, 60,000 crores, growing at 17% while everybody else is growing at 6%. But that includes a lot of below the line stuff, which traditional advertisers would put as below the line in that number. So if we were to just pull out video, that number would be in the region of about 15,000 crores. Divide by the number of eyeballs that it gets, and your realization per million eyeballs is in this ballpark and not in this ballpark, which only a person who's not producing the content but is basing himself on user-generated content can afford, and not self-produced content. So that's where we are. The place where we missed out on television so far has been digital has been able to offer impressions to a niche or a small bunch of specific targeted audiences, which television has not been. Television has always been about mass. You want to reach 500 million people? Here I am. At very low cost, I can reach you. But I can't give you, say, if you want to reach English-speaking people in Punjab before 8 p.m., the 11 people that exist, I can't take you there. Which digital can, and very happily can. After 8 p.m., everybody speaks English there. So that's, so television has made an attempt. For example, for the last few months, we have been offering segmented advertising where we can take you to a small niche. For example, if you're a soap maker and you've got 4 types of soap, I can split your ad into 4 segments by the price of the soap. Or if you're a car maker, I can split your car advertisement into 4 models of the car or 5 models of the car by the data I have about the customers. Or even if you're a regional player, I can only offer you a slot for, say, English-speaking, whatever, those guys I talked about. And we can do that. We can do it on our own platform. We can currently do it with a few star channels. If you are advertising on those, we'll soon be doing it with Zee and Sony and others. So that capability we have, so if any one of you wants to do that or wants to sell it to your customers, that capability is there with us. You can reach out to us. So that's all I had to say. I think there are some change events that are around the corner in this country that will bring television back if they actually materialize as we are envisaging them to be. And the segmented advertising opportunity that we have, I am not saying that that is aimed to eat into digital. I mean, going by the belief of our Honorable Prime Minister, who said, Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, I think we can work hand in hand. And when you sell a package to a niche advertiser, we can include our niche television offering as a part of the media plan to the advertiser so that the offering becomes even more lucrative for that person, for that advertiser. I raised that with Sanjay Gupta. He was very excited about it. Now that he's been elevated, he obviously doesn't have that much focus on India, but I'd raise it with people from Meta and Google here. Let's work together and make it happen. Thank you very much.